What's good, everybody? What is good, everybody? It is Big Game James. Let me move over a little bit. If you could move your camera down just a little bit, I think it's cutting off a little bit of your head, Emory. There you go, right there. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Big Game James in the house, doing my thing today, and I have my special guest, Mr. Emory Hunt, the czar of the football game plan. I've been checking him out for a while, really through the college all-star game, and I kind of just been watching you, checking you out, seeing how you do your thing. Hey man, I really appreciate you. Kind of throw yourself out there, let everybody know, your channel, what you really do, and then we'll jump in and talk a little bit about your Cowboys breakdown.
Well, first of all, appreciate you having me on. And, we just do a little bit of everything here at Football Game Plan, from the NFL, college football, Canadian football. We cover the draft a lot, so if it involves a pigskin, we pretty much cover it. And that's just who we are and who we have been since 2007. And the YouTube channel is youtube.com/football game plan. Folks can follow me on Twitter at fballgameplan. And just search Football Game Plan on Instagram and anywhere else, and you'll see Football Game Plan pop up, and you'll get that content.
Well, definitely, like I said, we definitely appreciate you coming on here. And like I said, the first thing I want to talk to you about is because you do a lot of college football, and that's one of the reasons how I found you was because you do the college football thing. And I seen the last two senior bowl games, and you really covered that really good. What is your forte? I said, you say you do a lot of it. What is really your forte that you really like to delve into more than anything else?
Just football, to be honest. And that's why we call it Football Game Plan and not, NFL game plan or Power Five game plan or college football game plan. It really is just about football. So whether or not it's, scouting, breaking down NFL, games or teams, or doing coaching strategies or whatever the case may be, it just strictly is a football love here, which is why we've been able to navigate different things that have gone on in the world and just been able to navigate around, the calendar, so there's no real off season here at Football Game Plan.
Okay, well, I really like that. Sorry if it's buffering a little bit. I told you my daggone thing be acting up. Sometimes it be buffering a little bit, so I apologize. Just kind of stay with us. But let's jump right into talking about the Dallas Cowboys. You had that breakdown yourself. And we're talking about the NFC East, and let's already jump out there first. You said you're picking them to be your preseason favorite. First of all, why would you say that's your preseason favorite if you're looking at the NFC East?
Because to me, they're the most complete team in the East. You're looking at quarterback, running back, offensive line, weapons on the perimeter. On the defensive side of football, they've upgraded in areas where they were weaker last year, i.e. defensive tackle. The linebackers, as of today, are healthy, and so that's always a good thing. And I think they have enough athleticism in the secondary to where if the front end helps out the back end, they'll be just fine. So I just think the Cowboys, to me, are the most complete team, in the NFC East.
All right. So everybody's been jumping up and down East here in Cowboy land because Jason Garrett is gone. You feel me? We've been listening for 10 years of that garbage. I mean, we had to see it. Now you kind of got a Mike McCarthy that comes in the fold. He was one of the guys I was advocating for the Cowboys to go after more than anybody else when there was a thought of Jason Garrett moving on. Now he's in the fold. I'm really excited about what he's going to do for the program. What do you think Mike McCarthy is really going to add to the Dallas Cowboys, and where do you think he's going to take them?
That's a great question, because when you look at Mike McCarthy's MO, it's usually three wide receiver sets, tight end, one back in the backfield, right? That's going back to what he did in New Orleans, when he had Aaron Brooks, Deuce McAllister, Joe Horn, and, Jerome Pathon, Boo Williams at tight end, and that offensive line that they built there and had success in New Orleans. Green Bay speaks for itself. But the unique part about what McCarthy brings to the table is the fact that we hadn't seen him in a year. So we don't know what new wrinkles he will bring to the table, or what he had learned from what went wrong in Green Bay. So he does have a slight bit of unknown coming into this football season. But as with anything, when push comes to shove, or you get pressed to make a decision or do things, you're really going to go back to what's comfortable and what you're used to. So I know he kept Kellen Moore as the OC. We'll see how long that lasts as far as him giving full autonomy to him, to allowing him to call plays. He McCarthy cut his teeth as an offensive guy, as a play caller, as OC. So that's going to be tough for him to relinquish that responsibility. That could be one area where you could see if he has grown or not. So that's to me the biggest unknown about him. But if you're going for the known quantity of what he brings to the table, again, it's going to be utilizing that receiver depth that they have, getting Blake Jarwin involved at tight end, and really trying to create space, more space for Ezekiel Elliott to run.
Right. So let's jump into Dak Prescott. We talked about Mike McCarthy, and I know you mentioned Blake Jarwin, and a lot of people love Blake Jarwin. I've been on him since day one, since he came over to the Cowboys since 2017, and I know you mentioned him a few times. But we talked about this offense. Let's talk about Dak Prescott. Everybody's been talking about him back and forth. He's the franchise. Does he deserve this much? What's your thoughts as his contract gets ready to come up into the fold? He's already signed the 1-year franchise deal, and we're talking about doing the long-term deal before the 15th. What's your kind of thoughts about Dak Prescott, and where do you think he can take the Cowboys, and do you think he's an elite quarterback?
Definitely think he's an elite quarterback, and he can take them wherever they want to go. And I'm shocked that this contract hadn't gotten done yet. This is a guy that outplayed his rookie deal as a fourth-round pick, and not just as a fourth-round pick where they had a scrub at quarterback ahead of him. They had Tony Romo, who had a lot of success in Dallas. He gets injured. They were fully expecting Romo to be the starter that year. He gets injured, and now you thrust a fourth-round pick in the mix in a situation where he's going to be the starter for America's team, and all he did was finish third in the MVP voting as a rookie. Not third in rookie of the year. I'm talking about MVP of the entire league. That's how great he was as a rookie, and has gotten the Cowboys to the playoffs, has won a couple of games, and even in the games that they lost, you can't say, hey, Prescott was the reason why they lost. So to me, he's a franchise guy. He's a guy that they can definitely win a Super Bowl with, and they need to pay him. But if they don't, somebody will pay the services of Dak Prescott, because you're getting a guy that's durable, that's capable, that shows good leadership, can play the 11-on-11 game because of his mobility, and a guy that has gotten better, in my opinion, every year.
Yeah, definitely has. And I honestly don't understand why the people hate on him so much, because of what he's done. Like you said, the biggest thing being durable, being there for every single game. And I always say that you had 4 years of him with Jason Garrett. And if you look what he's done with Jason Garrett, I just think he was just a good coordinator, maybe not a great coach. But now you're getting a Mike McCarthy who has been proven and has won and has had a really good quarterback in his fold. Now you got a Dak Prescott. And I just think that arrow is trending up for Dak Prescott. Let's talk about that offense. We brought up some things. What do you think about that offense? You got Ezekiel Elliott. You got CeeDee Lamb just been added in the fold. You got Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, Blake Jarwin. Can this still be like it was a top offense last year? You still think it can be a top 5 offense and one of those 40-burger type offenses everybody's been talking about?
I believe so. I mean, you just listed all of the pieces there. To me, the biggest question is at center. Who's going to win that job? And if I had my choice, like I said in the video, it would be Tyler Beatis out of Wisconsin. So I know people look at him last year and say, well, he didn't look like he did in 2018. Well, he was dealing with some injuries last season, but his tape still was solid to me in 2019. I think that's the best option for Dallas. I thought he was a steal when they got him. I would have taken him in the first round if I was Dallas, but Dallas found a way to get him on the roster regardless. So that to me is the biggest question up front is center. They have options there, a guy that can be capable, but if they really want to put the best 5 out there, for my money, it would be Beatis. But everywhere else, I don't have any questions about the Cowboys. You look at the O-line being what it is, and the weapons out on the perimeter growing with Dak Prescott. The only new guy is CeeDee Lamb, and you could put him in a situation where he doesn't have to learn as much initially until he gets comfortable. Then you can really throw the whole kitchen sink at him. But right now, if you're Mike McCarthy, the reason why this was such an attractive job is because this is a turnkey offense, one that you could hit the ground running literally right away.
Yeah, definitely. And everything that you said, man, this really gets me excited about this Cowboy offense because that's the thing that carried the Cowboys last year. And then when you see this thing with the COVID going around and you see a lot of returners, you think that's going to be the thing that's going to have to jump right out in the beginning because of so many different things going on with this defense. Let's jump right over to this defense right quick and let's talk about that. Now you got Mike Nolan, Tom Sula came over, Al Harris, they got Lindquist from Texas A&M. Got a lot of new pieces on defense. Kind of your thoughts on Mike Nolan. What do you think he'll bring to the table? How do you like the staff that the Cowboys brought on? And kind of what's your thoughts of the defense as of now?
Well, the mindset has to change, and it has to be more of an attack mindset. I know everyone says, well, if you're playing defense, you're already in an attack mindset. Well, a lot of times you find some schemes, and some coaches tend to, want to take the cerebral approach to playing defense, try to play offense by playing defense, and really, play games with the offense side of football. You have some defensive coordinators. Let's look at a Greg Williams who's all about attack. And that's what I'm talking about when you're playing aggressive defense or when we say attack style defense. Guys that, preach, go get the ball every single play. And it's always about attack, it's always about pressure. And that tends to yield itself to guys turning the ball over. And to me, that's where the Cowboys will probably see a significant boost by having a guy like Mike Nolan. You want to be able to turn the ball over and get the ball back to that explosive offense with Dak Prescott and company. So to me, having Nolan and Al Harris was huge because I know the type of player he was. He was aggressive. He was a guy that sought the ball out and found ways to turn the ball over. And best believe he's going to preach that to his guys on the back end. Hey, you got a chance to get the ball, go get the ball. Yeah, they're going to play phase and gonna do all that stuff that, the technical stuff. But once the ball is in the air, the receiver is irrelevant. Go get the ball. And I think that right there can change the whole fortunes of a defense. You don't have to have, let's say when the Rams won a Super Bowl in '99 with the greatest show on turf,
Right.
their defense was only 15th. But the thing about their defense is the fact that they turned the ball over. So as long as you get more shots on goal, you're going to be fine, especially when you have the offense that the Cowboys have out there on the field.
And I think that's the biggest thing that, and I'm just bouncing off and agreeing with you, turnovers. Conservative doesn't win in my book. It never has. And I believe aggressiveness really is when you're an aggressive defense, you're going to give up some big plays. That's just what's going to happen. But more times than not, when we're talking about Cowboys being dead last or being at the bottom of the barrel with turnovers because of the conservativeness, we're talking about guys who would not turn their heads around. You're not talking about a lot of blitzing. You're saying a lot of covering zones and things of that nature, which really top quarterbacks really can pick away those type of defenses because they're seen and easily they can easily just chunk them down. So now I want to see a lot more blitzing. I want to see some guys like you've seen Jalen Smith. He's really good at blitzing. You've seen a Van Der Esch who only has zero point 0.5 sacks in 2 years with them, but I believe he can be an asset as long as his neck is good. You see guys that can come in. Jordan Lewis had 4 sacks last year from the cornerback position, so it can happen. My thing is Al Harris. You spoke on Al Harris. He was one of my biggest guys, him and Tom Sula, that really excited me because Al Harris, you watched him, I watched him, well, I'm sure you watched him, but with his aggressive style at Green Bay, at Philadelphia, I think he can bring that to Woozier. The Jordan Lewis already does it, the Daryl Worleys, and then you got Trevin Diggs, who I really love. He's a guy that likes to go up there and get it. I think with his kind of aggressiveness, he can kind of really lean on those guys and start seeing some of those turnovers that the Cowboys have been waiting for seems like eons.
Yeah, and I think the Cowboys also got a steal in Reggie Robinson, the second out
Yes.
of Tulsa. He's a better corner prospect than Trevon Diggs. Diggs is still learning how to play corner, and it's going to take him a while to be competent because you can't just figure it out at the NFL level. It's going to take some time for him to get there. But a guy like Robinson is plug and play, in my opinion. He can play press. He can play off. If you want a comparison, he compares favorably to Al Harris. So
Mm-hmm.
I think when they drafted him, they got themselves a steal. He was down there at the Senior Bowl. He did really well. Tulsa's defense was underrated. Travis Gibson is with the Bears right now. They got some guys there this year that people are going to be talking about as well. So I thought they were underrated defensively. So by the Cowboys getting Robinson and having him, kind of take some of the pressure off Diggs, I think it's going to work out well for them in the long run.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't talk about Robinson. I'm glad you brought him up because a lot of people, people really followed the game, talk about him, but to the unknowns, Reggie Robinson, who, you know what I'm saying? But he's a guy that the Cowboys were very, very high on, and to get him in the fourth round, they are very excited. Now, let me ask you a few other questions because I know you can't be long. But I know you covered the draft. You do a lot of college things. Let's talk about the Cowboys and what do you think? Do you think because this COVID is kind of messing things up with these rookies, do you see any kind of rookies being an instant impact, even with this COVID going on, with no OTAs, no rookie mini camps, anything like that? Do you still see any guys from the Cowboys between Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Robinson, Bradley and Gallimore, any of those guys that will kind of still kind of make a mark this year?
I think the easiest one and probably the correct one would be CD Lamb because he's so explosive. He looks to score the ball every time he has it. And you don't really have to know much to be able to create, when you have the ball. And so I think that bodes well for him, COVID or not. On defense, I look at the guys up front, let's say a Nye from Utah.
Mm-hmm.
All he has to do is attack the quarterback. You look at those guys on the interior, Gallimore, even a undrafted guy and Garrett Marino out of UAB. All you have to do is just play upfield, get to the ball, play the run on the way to the quarterback. So in those reaction positions, I think you're able to play right away. But if you're looking at, like, let's say if they had a rookie quarterback coming in, let's say like Cincinnati, although their situation is a little bit different because they're expecting him to start. But even then, that takes a little bit of time, and the timing has to be there. So you can expect some rust to be there for Joe Burrow. But for these reaction positions, like running back, receivers that can really just catch the ball and go, like Lamb and these defensive linemen or edge rushers, then you're in a good situation to really go and play ball right off the bus.
Yeah, definitely. And I really, what did you think about CeeDee Lamb? Were you just like, wow, he really dropped to the Cowboys?
No, it's the draft never amazes me,
Right.
because crazy things will happen. But I feel like he went to the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna fit in perfectly with those two guys running sidecar alongside of him, and it allows him to really just grow and develop as opposed to a team that needed him to be their number one,
Mm-hmm.
to get out there day one and try to be that guy. So for rookies, I like when you have great receiver talent going to a situation where there's some established receivers in the fold because it helps that guy grow. Because the pro game is different because the hash marks are in closer, which means the game is essentially played in the middle of the field, which also means pressure comes quicker, which then means as a receiver, you have to make decisions quicker. So you have to find a way to get open quicker. And that could be a lot to process for a guy that's used to running, through gaping zones and spaces in college because of the width of the hash marks and how people spread the field and what up tempo and then the spread game. So for a rookie like him, playing the pro game where he landed was perfect.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why I like having you on because your breakdowns are ridiculous, and I appreciate that. A couple more things before I get you off here, Mr. Hunt. The Cowboys had some free agency things that they brought to the table. Dante Poe, Gerald McCoy. They had, like I said, we had Daryl Worley on the show. What's your thoughts about the guys they brought on free agency, and what will they bring to the table?
Yeah, Worley is an ascending player in my opinion, so I thought that was a good get. I thought he got better last year in Oakland, so to get him to go to Dallas was a huge pickup for them because, like I said, he's an ascending player. Poe is what he's going to be. If you need him to be a space eater, if he can do that, then that frees up McCoy to win one-on-one, which he should still be able to do. So I'm excited to see how it all plays out. I thought they did a great job in addressing frontline needs in free agency, which allowed them to attack the draft the way they did. So we talk about the front end helping out the back end. It's the same way when you're talking about free agency and the draft. If you're able to accomplish a lot of the frontline goals early, it allows you to be a little bit more flexible in the draft and target difference makers. And I thought the Cowboys did that.
Yeah, definitely. And I appreciate that. One last thing. COVID's going on, and I've been keep on bringing it up. I keep bringing it up, and I'm not trying to bring it up, but COVID. Do you think that is there going to be a season in your opinion? What kind of season do you think this is going to be?
You know, the I think the correct answer is I don't know. You know, when you, what goes on by the day. You know, if you would have asked me in March, would there be an NFL season? I would have said probably, because I think the country would have done a great job in, banding together and trying to bend this curve all the way to where it's flat. And we started to do that initially, and then people in this country just got tired and gave up and said,
Hmm.
well, we've done enough. And so now we see spikes all across the country, which puts football now in jeopardy. So at the end of the day, I don't know. It right now it looks bleak. Things may change in, 2 months, but training camp's supposed to start at the end of this month.
Right.
So again, I have no idea if we're going to have football. I hope so, but medically, a respiratory disease, a virus with, the amount of heavy breathing and everything that goes on in playing football, it's not possible to play a game with that hanging over everyone's head. I know people say, oh, some people are asymptomatic, and yeah, I get all that, but you still don't want to get sick,
Hmm.
So, especially when there's no cure, no vaccine. We got treatments, but who wants to be, knock on wood, in a hospital for months,
Right.
so, or days or weeks. So I don't really know. I hope there's a safe way to go about it, but if not, I completely understand it, because this is something that we hadn't seen before. What the last pandemic like this was in 1918. So I don't
Right.
think I
Right.
don't think can say with conviction that we are going to have a season. You hope so. I hope so, because I cover the league.
Right.
Um, but if not, I'm full fledged, ready to sit tight and just wait it out and come back in 2021.
Yeah, man. This is, like I said, this is something that we've never seen before, and I hope it's not something that trends and keeps going on. You know what I mean? I hope they can figure this out because as much as I want to, football is just I have that apprehension. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I want to get excited. I want to jump up for my team. I want to get excited for Mike McCarthy and everything, but now I'm just sitting there like, I just don't want to jump up and down because it just seems like at any given time because it seems like every new day something is changing within the NFL. And then I posted this tweet how they were saying that after the game you can't jersey swap and you have to 6 feet distance after the game is over. And Richard Sherman made a tweet and he was like, How are you going to say that? And we just played a game where we're going after each other the whole damn game and we're sweating and everything. And then after the game, you say no jersey swapping because that you could COVID.
And unless they think that, right, none of it makes sense. It doesn't make sense. I can't even begin to justify it. Because if you're going to say, well, you're going to give someone potentially a contaminated jersey, well, that person is already contaminated if they played a game against someone that is contaminated, or has asymptomatic symptoms or what have you, or has COVID. So none of it made sense. I'm pretty sure we'll see a revision of that before training camp kicks off.
Well, we shall see. Hey, man, I definitely appreciate you stopping by. I'm going to keep going after you drop off and, just talk a little bit more. But I definitely appreciate you, man, coming on here. You had great information like you always do. If you can, Mr. Hunt, I'm sorry if I call you Mr. Hunt, but you know what I mean? Just being respectful. But if you can, let them know about your channel, what you do, everything that you got going on. Because as I said before, I was on YouTube and I just happened to, once I started doing my own thing, I was just, like I said, doing the college all-star games and I was watching them and I just happened to see one of your breakdowns and your breakdown was very good and thorough. So then I just said, man, I'm going to just start following the channel because your breakdowns were really good. And then I seen your NFL thing, which is the first time I've seen it. So I really like your work. We're talking about bringing on the late night hype. We do a late night hype show with me, Law Nation, and Skywalker Still. So we're thinking about doing that during the season, and we'd like to bring you on. That's why I brought you on first, because that breakdown is good, and we'd like to have you on a game time if that was ever available to you. But definitely let everybody know what you do and your show and all that good stuff.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate you having me come on and checking out the content. That means a lot. Folks can check out the videos at youtube.com/football game plan. We got our NFL previews slowly coming out. Day by day, you'll see a team video out there. Follow me on Twitter at fballgameplan, and just subscribe to the YouTube channel, man, and keep spreading the word. We have a ton of player interviews from all these All-Star games. We attend all the All-Star games.
I know.
So we're not just one of these people that just show up at the Senior Bowl and a Shrine game. We're at the College Gridiron Showcase in Dallas. We're at, Fort Worth. We're at the Tropical Bowl, the FCS Bowl. I'm also a college football color commentator, so I'm covering these games, broadcasting these games. So, there's a lot of players that I haven't, that you can't say I have not seen, So know that the analysis is coming from a place of hard work, dedication, and someone that is actually on the ground doing the job correctly. So appreciate you checking it out, and shout out to the Cowboy fans out there that are watching and consuming your content, because it's important to get more guys like yourself out there and doing what you're doing. So appreciate the hard work you're putting in, and for everyone, just hit subscribe on youtube.com/footballgameplan and follow me on Twitter at fballgameplan.
Hey, yeah, like I said, man, you really got it going on. And as I said before, when we if there is a season, because we're going to be doing these kind of like watch parties, definitely love to bring you on one game. Because like I said, I heard that you did color commentating and you got the voice for it. You sound like you could be on ABC doing them college football games for real. You got that voice for that. So that's really good. So hopefully we'll talk to you soon. Like I said, I'm going to still keep going. I'll hit you up afterwards, chop it up with you right quick. But I really appreciate you, Mr. Hunt, and we'll talk to you again soon. And thank you and salutes to you.
Have a good one, man. Stay safe out there.
All right. Appreciate you. All right. See here. That was Mr. Emory Hunt. Sorry if my screen was freezing. I told y'all about this. Weird cable. I apologize if it froze. I was watching it and I was sitting there thinking like I was gonna just restart the stream. I was like, I was just gonna restart the stream, but I was like, man, I ain't gonna do all that because I only had a certain amount of time with Emory. Because he's got a lot of things going on, so he took a little bit of time out to do this interview. Great interview. I really appreciate him. I wish he could have seen us moving, but listening to what he said was just as good. I mean, this man's got a lot of knowledge. You really need to continue to check him out. This guy is really good at what he does. Like he says, he's not just at these games. They are doing breakdowns. He's talking to the players. He's interviewing these guys, and he's got really good knowledge. He broke down everybody in the NFL from the NFC East, AFC, every division, and quality breakdowns. I just can't say enough about him. He's a good guy. So definitely do that. Let's see. Did I switch off of here? There we go. Oh, ho. Flora Perrier with the $5 holla. See which other $2 holla. Appreciate y'all. Like I said, let's talk a few minutes about what's going on with the Cowboys football. I know I've been talking about this COVID thing. Y'all see, I'm going to pull up some of the stuff that I've been seeing on Twitter and, Instagram. Just kind of get your thoughts on Cowboys news right now. I don't know, man. I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all. This, like I was talking with Emory, kind of off air. This COVID thing just kind of just got me frustrated because I was looking at Jordan Lewis's Twitter and he was like, man, damn COVID. He wish he could whoop COVID's ass, and he's like, damn, this is the worst time for to have COVID in his contract year. Like, think about these guys that are in their contract year right now. You know what I mean? They're in their contract year. They need to have a really good year, and we don't know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And these guys been trying to get major deals after this, and they don't know what's going to happen. Nobody does. And just like I was talking about, they are making up these rules, it seems like, as they go. And training camp is like 2 weeks away. The season is like 2 months away, less than 2 months. I think less than 2 months now, or close to 2 months. I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how they're going to figure this out. I seen my guy. He works for the Kansas City Chiefs. He does a lot of ESPN with the Kansas City Chiefs. Darren Smith, shout out to you, dog. But he broke down what the Kansas City Chiefs, they sent out their season ticket holders, and it's a long, comprehensive list, man. It's just crazy how they're trying to figure this out. Baltimore Ravens, like I think, going out only 14,000 capacity. You wonder what Dallas is going to do because they're crazy spikes with the COVID. It's just I don't know how people, about the deaths and things of that nature, but I do believe this thing is real enough to have a concern to where how are they really going to figure this thing out, especially when it's right around the corner. I mean, the NBA is about to do this bubble thing, and that's going to be interesting. I think a lot of people are going to be looking at how that is done, but still, it's still not the physical contact. It is contact in the NBA, but it's not like the contact in the NFL, and I just feel like that's the biggest concern. Water bottles, just how are y'all going to do this, Yeah, Charles. That was Emory Hunt. Yes, Emory Hunt. Football game plan. But yeah, like my dog said, what's up with you, big dog? Cowboys fan. Jay Tuck in the building. Appreciate you, big dog. But man, this COVID thing is real, and people need to understand this. And you know, um, and then they were talking about what do y'all think about this? I said the owner should do it. I'm gonna ask y'all this quick question. I think the NFL. Let me see if I can pull it up. They were saying that they wanted the players to put 35% of their salary in an escrow, um, just in case not enough fans, they lose money. The players don't have put 35% of their salaries into an escrow account. I don't know everything about a damn escrow account, so I don't front to act like I do. But I was like, if the owners, they got all this daggone money, right? Why don't these owners band together and sit there and make it happen them damn selves? Why can't they do it? What are your thoughts on this? I'm not all the expert on that, but what are your thoughts on that? Owners are telling the players, possibly the NFLPA said that's a hard no, but NFL is saying the players, y'all put 35% of your salary in this escrow, and then to cover these costs, and you get it back later. But why don't these owners? You got 32 owners in this league who got all that big money. How come they can't put a percentage of their money in to cover these costs for the NFL? What's your thoughts on that? Oh, and I'm sorry to hear about your cousin Lee Norman. I had actually one of my friends that I went to high school. He just got it. I mean, I've had some friends who've had family members die. I've had some friends who've had loved ones that they were married to have passed away from it. One of my friends who in high school, he has contracted it, but he was telling me, this is what he was telling me about the COVID. Not to just keep talking about the COVID, but he was just telling me that um, from his vision is they really try to push you to these hospitals, get on a respiratory system. And he said that's where you really mess up. He said you really need to just, you know, really not really self medicate. That's what he's been saying to me. Self medicate, eat a lot of vitamins, minerals, be healthy. Don't automatically run to the hospital and have you put you on a respirator, because that's when it seems to go bad for you. A lot of people, it seems, from what he says, he's talked to people who's had it when they really jump on it themselves and become proactive and do the things that they can do themselves. They tend to come back from it better than going to a hospital. That's what I've been hearing. I don't know how true it is, but he's dealing with it right now. He's saying that it's been better for him that way instead of going to the hospital. What up, Dave Jenkins? And yeah, I feel you, Shay, but you get what it's just. I mean, I'm thinking like you owners always want something. Y'all need to give up some of this pot, especially with this COVID. Y'all the one that got the money. Y'all worried about losing money, but the players always got to take a loss. It seems. I know they put in the escrow, but it seems like it's always the players that have to do more than the owners. They can donate. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like the owners need to give up some of that bread. Y'all need to eat some of this. Y'all got all them billionaires. Y'all billionaires. Y'all the top 1% out there. You know what I mean? Everybody else out there struggling. You owners got bread and y'all crying about y'all losing a little bit of money and y'all making everybody else spend theirs. You making everybody else, oh yeah, why don't y'all put your money in this to cover the cost? Why don't y'all put y'all money in that to cover the cost? Y'all the top percent in the world. Y'all owning teams. Ain't nobody owning no teams. Who owns teams? So you crying about y'all losing a little bit of money? Take that little bit of a loss then. If the NFL means that much to you, why don't y'all put y'all money in the escrow and y'all save the league? Why don't you owners keep pushing y'all money to do it? I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just and another thing, you're coming to a player, hey, let's put your money in escrow, but I think I posted something. I'm gonna show this, and it was with David Kenner. I think he represents um like this right here. I think he represents D Law, but just some of this stuff right here, man. Yeah, he's a cowboy hater, dog. He's a serious cowboy hater, Jay. He's a serious cowboy hater. He funny as shit though. He cool as fuck though. But he's a cowboy hater to the fullest, and especially a Jerry Jones hater. He funny as hell. So Charles, I'm gonna just see what I'm gonna pull up some of y'all's comments too. Hold on, because I know my stuff was acting funny, and I apologize about that. What up, Charles? Charles. Charles Bridges says the owner should put up a percentage in for the players because this is a hobby for them. They don't make the main income from the NFL. I mean, my thing is this. You see this right here. NFL teams will be forbidden post-game interactions within 6 feet of each other, and jersey exchanges between players will be prohibited during the 2020 season, sources say. Okay? Now, that just kind of throws me off when we're talking about that. Just when I mentioned about the Richard Sherman thing, um, how are you going to have? I don't like the jersey swapping anyway, but you're going to tell people don't jersey swap and stay 6 feet apart. But y'all just played a game where y'all was going at each other head to head combat. Like you're gladiators. Like I said, the owners are up there in the stands kicking it, watching you guys beat your heads in, break your arms, break your legs, and they telling you put no. What we need you players to do is put your money in a little 35. Put some of your percentage y'all checking the escrow. You get it back later, but we need y'all to hold it down for the league. You're already getting beat up, broke up, all that good stuff. We're gonna sit in the top of a booth and just watch y'all do all that, and you put your money in the escrow while y'all go out there and risk your lives. I mean, really? That don't make no damn sense to me, man. I hate the jersey swap to be honest with you. They just need and what's so funny about players is mad as hell about not being able to jersey swap, man. Players is mad as hell because they can't jersey swap. That's crazy. Charles says, if I was the NFL players, I wouldn't give none of my money. That's your money and you earned it. True story. I mean, I don't. Players ain't going to be sitting there listening to that. They ain't going to be giving all these concessions. They've already, and they're the ones out there risking it. They're not the owners, not the people even in the stands. They're not playing the game of football. That is more of a risk when you're playing the game than you're watching the game. And so the players should have the more say in this than anything because they're the ones out there doing it. I don't know. I'm gonna pull up something right quick as well. Get up here. I'm gonna pull up some stuff. What did y'all see what that thing I posted with Ezekiel Elliott about that one guy? And I posted this on my Twitter about the one anonymous let me pull it up. Anonymous guy. These guys kill me, and I posted this on my Twitter. Anonymous guys. You got a guy saying he's the 11th best running back in the damn league. Now I know Ezekiel Elliott is not that speed guy he was his rookie year. He's not that guy. He's not that guy that's going to break off them 70, 80-yard gains any longer. I don't think he's that. He's a Mack truck, though, and he's still going to grind out 14 to 1,500 yards every single year until he's about maybe 28, 29 because he's a special type player. He's that type of player that can do that. He's just a conditioned athlete like that. But it kills me when I hear about dudes jumping up there talking about an anonymous guy saying, here it is, one offensive, and they always say anonymous. You know what I'm saying? They kill me when they want to make these quotes about people, but they anonymous. You got a one NFL offensive rank coach. I don't even know if this is the Marcus Marsher, but it says 11th best running back in the NFL. Few breakout runs. Doesn't look as strong anymore. Feels like he's about 60 to 70% of what he was. Come on, dog. You tripping. And then my thing is, yo, why don't y'all put a name on it? A lot of these people be jumping out there and be saying so much stuff behind the scenes. Why don't y'all put names on this? Y'all say this stuff. Why don't you say offensive line coach blah 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 said Ezekiel Elliott instead of saying the offensive line? Don't tell him I said this. Don't tell him I said this. But he ain't that good. He all right. But don't tell him I said it. I don't want nobody jumping on me. Don't tell him I said it. But he this, he that, snitches. Oh man, shut up. Y'all kill me, man. Y'all funny as shit. Okay? Like I said, Ezekiel Elliott is not running for these. You're right. He's not doing these big breakout runs any longer. But come on, bruh. You really gonna talk? You got McCaffrey, you got these guys, you got McCaffrey, you got Chubb, you got these guys, Saquon Barkley, but you can't sit there and tell me Ezekiel Elliott, I mean, every year. He's gonna get you about, and he had 12 touchdowns. People don't even talk about that this year. I mean, I don't think it was a super great year for him, but he still did 1,300. You feel me? He still got 12 touchdowns. Nobody even talks about how many touchdowns he got this past season. 12 touchdowns. You know what I mean? He still averaged 4.5 yards a carry. I think his career is around 4.5. I mean, he's been coming in. I think he's one of the fastest runners to get like 6,000 yards, man. Come on, dog. Are you really going to say that? You'd say if you cut Ezekiel Elliott right now, them people that's saying he's the 11th best running back would be banging their doors down right now to get a 24-year-old Ezekiel Elliott. If you cut Dallas, cut him right now, every damn team in the league be going after him. And so stop saying that BS crap. He's the 11th best running back in the league when you know damn well you be goo-goo and gaga over him if he was on your squad, coach. Let's see, one last thing. And then I'm going to head up out of here. Oh, and I want to have one last thing. Let me see right here. Where Eastside Herald at? Because I wanted to pull this up right here. Where is Eastside Herald at? This list right here from ESPN, man. I posted this list right here. We gotta talk about this list right here before I get off here. ESPN be killing me. They be having these crazy lists. I think they just do it just cause. But dog, Look at this list right here. I posted on my page. Look at this list right here. Wait for it to pull up. I think Zeke is going to be great. I don't think he's 2,000 yards guy, but he's in shape. Mike McCarthy's going to use him accordingly. I think he had Jason Garrett, dog. I don't use that as no excuse, but now you got a Mike McCarthy. I think he's a better coach and is really going to utilize all his talents and be able to work him in with Tony Pollard, those type of things. That's I think just get on Mike McCarthy is really just going to help Ezekiel Elliott and everybody else's career. But just jumping in this top 10 from the ESPN book, they crazy as hell. But I just want y'all to look at this list right quick and tell me your thoughts on it before I get up out of here. They got their top 10 list of quarterbacks currently right now. Patrick Mahomes, number one. Russell Wilson, number two. Aaron Rodgers, number three. Deshaun Watson, four. Drew Brees, five. Lamar Jackson, six. Tom Brady, seven. Carson Wentz, eight. Dak Prescott, nine. Matthew Stafford, 10. Seriously? I mean, I just feel like, without even just looking at the numbers right here, I just feel like a lot of these guys just be getting it just because they're names. I mean, is Drew Brees really that dope right now? Deshaun Watson fourth? Come on, dog. You got Dak Prescott ninth. You got Deshaun Watson fourth. I made that video. Said, what's the difference between the fours? Line for line. Dak Prescott numbers is just as good as Deshaun Watson line for line, if not better. And he had a year on him, but Deshaun Watson has already missed a year because of a torn up knee, and he be getting broke up. His offensive line isn't the best, yes, but we both remember when they both had over 50. Dak had like 50, Dallas had like 56 sacks. Deshaun Houston had like 61 sacks. But still, Dak still did his things as far as numbers go. And if you're looking at playoff records, Deshaun Watson ain't won a playoff game yet. Dak has. He's beat Russell Wilson. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not understanding this hype. And I think Deshaun Watson is a good quarterback. He is very athletic. He's a good quarterback. But y'all sitting there talking this bullshit and keeping him so much higher than Dak Prescott, like he's so much better than Dak Prescott. We got to stop these lies like that. No, he's not. He's not so much better than Dak Prescott. And we're going to see how he works. He don't got Hopkins. I want to see how he works with him with some regular receivers. I want to see how he works because he's been afforded really good receivers in his time. You know what I mean? And you're going Carson Wentz. Was that your boy that put him over Carson Wentz over Dak Prescott, dog? That don't even make no sense no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna at least put Dak in a top five, in my opinion. I'm gonna at least put Lamar Jackson at six. Only one full year of doing something. He's a top 10 quarterback. Whoa. Drew Brees is good, but is he top five now? Man, I don't know if he a top five now. I'm looking at this list. I could put Dak Prescott in there over Watson. I can feel good about that. I can put Dak in there over Watson. What has Watson done over Dak to deserve the fourth ranking and Dak deserves a ninth? Hey ho, Landon Ishmael with the $5 holla. I don't know. I think Jonathan Taylor. I don't know if he's going to be rookie of the year because he's a running back. That's going to be really hard. We'll see how he goes. But if I had to pick, Jonathan Taylor came in a good situation, so I like him. KMT says should be Mahomes, Wilson, Jackson, Rodgers, Breeze, Dak, Deshaun Wentz, Brady, Matt Ryan. You putting Jackson as the third best quarterback in the league? I can't give him that. It's only been one full year. He was nasty this past year, but I need more than one full year. If he falls off next year, I mean, you saying he's a top 10 quarterback in the whole NFL right now? He might be in who six? Who, man, I'm seeing a lot. Yeah, you feel me? If y'all feeling me, I need more from Lamar. Lamar is dynamic, but I need to see him do that one more year. See, I'm throwing Dak in there in a top five over Deshaun Watson. I'm throwing him. I would put if we're gonna do Breeze in there, I'll keep Breeze at five, but we'll switch out. I'll put I'll give you Breeze. I don't know. I'm gonna give you Breeze because he Breeze. Maybe I'll give you Breeze because he Breeze. But Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. I'll throw Dak at five. We'll do Breeze as four. Then I'll do Deshaun Watson at six. Tom Brady seven. Lamar Jackson eight. Carson Wentz 9, and Matthew Stafford 10. If you're keeping everybody on this, if I'm just keeping this list as I see it right here, that would be my as I if I was to keep this list as is right here, it would be Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. Then I throw Breeze, Dak Prescott at six. I would throw in who did I say at six? Brady at six. I'll do Brady at six. Then I do Deshaun at seven, Lamar at eight, Wentz at nine, Stafford at 10. Yeah, it's not based off career. I feel you. It's based off their past season. But whew, that's where I'm gonna just rank. I'm gonna still rank Lamar a little bit. I guess if you're going about what he did last year, but I guess I'm looking more at the body. If we're talking about top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL, I think you have a little bit more body of work before I can call you a top 10 quarterback. I can't call you a top 10 quarterback off of one year. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got to be some. I feel like after you have one great rookie year, you ain't no top 10 quarterback in the league. You know what I'm saying? You're not better than some of these quarterbacks that have been doing it because you had a really good one year. You know what I'm saying? Mahomes is up there because he had the 50 touchdown season. He came in the second year, had that 50 touchdown season, and he came back in next year and wins the Super Bowl and still has great numbers. That's where you proven it to me. You had two back-to-back strong years. That's when you start getting up there. When you start, you do one solid year. I can't throw you in the top 10 right yet. That's just me. And plus Baltimore's got a really good offense catered to him, which was really good in my opinion. They did a really good job of catering to him offensively. Um, but as I said before, the reason why Dak, and I get even more confident saying Dak is a top five quarterback right now. Not just because of last year, he had a career year, but he's been doing it. You know what I'm saying? He had the aberration in 2017, but even his 2017 year wasn't a terrible year. He still threw over 20 touchdowns. He's guaranteed to throw you about at least close to 4,000 yards a season now. You know what I mean? And now you got a McCarthy. I think you're gonna be seeing Dak around 45 to 40, around 40,000. I'm thinking around 4,500 with McCarthy there. He's gonna be around that number a lot now. I don't think that's something that's out of the ordinary. You can still get Ezekiel Elliott for 1,300. You saw explosive offenses under McCarthy with Aaron Rodgers, the numbers with the receivers, the catches. Eddie Lacy was still getting through over 300 carries. So you're going to see explosiveness across the board. So you're still going to see Dak with very high numbers. So he's only going to get better. I just can't wait to see him, man. I just can't wait to see him under McCarthy, man. I think McCarthy's just going to do wonders for him. And I think that's the biggest excitement for me as I get ready to end off of here is just the Dak Prescott thing. Not really. The Cowboys excite me, but Dak Prescott, when he came out of college, I had a Dak Prescott rant, was wondering, what is he 2017, I was frustrated. I was like, man, is he going to be that guy? Is he going to get better? Or is this what he is? Because I backed him for so long. But his second year, I was very critical of him. But you know what I love about him? Dak Prescott's a fighter. He's a leader. He doesn't quit. He doesn't get moved by what we say. He doesn't get moved by the noise. That's what I love about Dak Prescott. He doesn't get moved by the noise. That's the type of quarterback you want. People can say he ain't this. People can say he ain't that. Like he said, he been hearing that since high school. He been hearing in high school he wasn't going to be a quarterback in college. He been hearing in high school, in college he wasn't going to be a NFL quarterback. He's been hearing it. So after a certain period of time, dog, you just eat that stuff and just continue to use that as motivation. And he, like I said, I love Dak, man. The more I just see of him, the more I just like him even more. What he does off field, but I just believe he is going to be that, continue to be that guy and get better and better and better. He's not a guy that's going to get worse and worse. I believe his arrow is still trending up and he's going to get better. He doesn't have to be the super athletic guy. He can just run when he needs to, but I think he's still going to get better at his passing. I think he's going to get quicker with his thinking. With Mike McCarthy, when we had Jesse Holly on there, one of the things he said that Mike McCarthy, one of the things he's going to get Dak Prescott even better in is thinking even quicker. He got the ball out a lot quicker this past season. You saw how everybody was making fun of his rotation, but that's just another facet of him working. I'm going to show a better way to throw the ball so it trajects better, so I can get better in my midfield passing, my throwing my slants. I feel like every part of his game he wants to work on to be the best. And how can you not want a quarterback like that? And the whole locker room is behind him. Not that he's just a guy that's going to work hard. The whole locker room is behind him. Everybody else may hate on him on the people may hate him on the outside, but that whole locker room is behind him. And he just, man, if I was playing, man, dog, I would want to play for Dak Prescott too, because I believe he's just a guy that you want to play for. I want to play hard for him. I want to. I he's just that guy I would do it for, and I can't wait. I hope this COVID thing doesn't mess everything up, but I can't wait to Mark McCarthy and Kellen Moore just really get their hands with him, get him in that quarterback room. And man, I'm telling you, man, dog, we're going to just see even a better Dak Prescott. And it's going to be all that money that people said he wasn't worth, all that money that said he wasn't this, all that money says he want that. I can't wait, dog. Take us to this Super Bowl. Take us to this six, Dak. Take us to this six so you can shut everybody the hell up. All them doubters, them naysayers, all been saying you can't do this, dog. Take this team to the promised land to shut these own haters up within our own Cowboy community up. They probably ain't going to shut up, but they're going to have to shut up because they're going to see that sixth ring, and you are the guy that's going to do it. Facts. And I'm out. I love y'all. Love, peace, and hair grease. I'll talk to y'all soon. Appreciate everybody in the feed. Let me give a shout out before I get over here. I didn't get to talk to everybody in the feed because I was all paranoid with it being frozen. I was just pissed off because I was looking at the feed and it was just frozen while we were talking. I was just staring at it and I was just mad as shit. And I didn't want to comment, so I apologize about not commenting and saying what's up to all my members. Everybody here who donated, I apologize. But like I said, I was just really pissed off and I just saw us just sitting there froze. And Emory was spitting fire. Yo got fire. Yo got flame. He was just spitting and we were just sitting there froze. And then this is his first time on the feed. And then if he goes back and looks at the feed, he'll be like, man, what the hell is that shit? I was sitting there froze. I came on the feed and I'm freaking froze. So, I was just really annoyed. I was talking to Boo Thing back and forth like, is it unfroze? Is it not? She's like, oh, it's working a little bit, but we can hear you. You know what I'm saying? So I was just frustrated. So I apologize to everybody. I didn't say what's up to everybody and talk to y'all like normal, but I was just really angry in the feed and just really mad. What up, Blake? A? But I'll talk to y'all soon. And sorry for the little lag. I love all y'all. Shout outs to everybody who was in the feed. Appreciate you, Landon. We ain't getting no